Hello, this is Tom from anti-proton.com, and I'm here today to talk to you about errors. First off, before I go into errors, you might hear that funny little noise in the background and wonder what it is. I just bought an external speaker for my Gieger counter. It's kind of dumb. I don't know if it's really worth it or not, but it's kind of neat. It's battery operated. It's loud. Take a look. Hold on. Alright, let's see. Can you see that okay? There it is. See? Speaker. It makes this sound better than this. Oh, hold on. See that? That's fine. But that sounds better. And of course I'm powering it with some granite and light salt like usual. Oh my god. That really goes up there, doesn't it? Never get over light salt. But regardless, here I am again. The amusement of my 65 count per minute light salt is not quite what I was going to talk about. Wow, that's actually impressive. I was going to talk about errors. As you all know, I'm an amateur scientist. Amateur scientist means that I do not have an actual degree, accredited degree, whatnot, from university or college in physics or science actually. Well, I actually do have a degree, but it's in computer science, which is not really the same thing at all, so I don't have that. If I were talking to you about servers and programming, system architecture, that sort of thing, then yes, I would be an absolute and 100% professional expert with an expert opinion. But when it comes to this, I'm an amateur. That's fine. I'm totally an amateur. I've been doing it for a while. I have some pretty decent knowledge of it. I've been interested in physics and science since I was about 6, and I've read hundreds of books. I've been to lectures and seminars. I've taken plenty of science classes in college, mind you. So I mean, I have actually been somewhat college educated, if you like, in science and math. But anyway, I learn new things all the time, which is fun and interesting. But I've made errors. Plenty of errors. And I wanted to talk about errors today. As many of you know, some of you found things that I've said wrong or incorrectly, or they just haven't been clear about. And I try to get back to it. I try to admit them and get them done as fast as I possibly can. Sometimes I don't, and occasionally I don't agree with you. But, for instance, just recently, 2 of them. What is it, Aluminum Studios, I think was the guy's name? He posted something about electron shells and beta particles. I said that beta particles are often discharged electrons from electron shells. Well, that's one of those, it's sort of true, but sort of not true. That does happen. Lightning, for example, can cause it. Lights like the one up above me, well actually that's an old-fashioned light bulb, but if it were one of those little twisty new light bulbs, I think those, and I think fluorescent lights produce some mild radiation. The reason I think this is because I've noticed the difference when I have them on or when I don't have them on and I'm doing tests. A microscopic little difference. And I'm going to be testing that pretty soon too. I want to make sure that I'm speaking correctly. And test and observation, of course, the best way to know if that's true. But anyhow, electrons can be excited to leave their electron shells if they receive enough energy to escape the boundary conditions that hold them in those quantum states. But he or she, I think it's a he, I was pretty sure it's a he, but it could be a she, but I think it's a he, is totally correct that if nothing more, that is not the primary way that beta particles are emitted. And I know this, so I don't know why I'm whining about them coming out of electron shells. That makes me stupid. Because it's bad enough when you don't know something and then you say the wrong thing. It's worse when you do know something. I've taken enough science classes to know this, and I was a fool. So anyway, whatever. It's isometric adjustment of the actual atom itself. Basically, the protons and neutrons that are in the atom are a state of metastable state usually. Well, they don't have to be metastable, but the point is they're usually in an unhappy state because there's too much energy inside the nucleus, and the nucleus wants to return to a state of rest as fast as it can, because that's what things do in physics. And to move itself down to the lowest happy-go-lucky state it can be in, it must release energy. And it releases energy sometimes as gamma, sometimes it can produce beta. And was Aluminum Studios pointed out quantum reversal, or quantum charge reversal, a little flipping if you like. Basically, a proton, which has a configuration of two up quarks and a down quark, can flip to a neutron, which has two downs and an up. Actually, it can also do the other way too. I should point that out. You can also go the other way with that, and go from down down up to up up down, so that you end up having a net charge from 0 to 1. Anyhow, other types of particles switching around that have particles that are composite particles. In other words, not my brain's not working today. I think it's the Geiger counter is making me interested in it. But particles that are not composite. There's the word I'm looking for. Composite particles. They can sometimes undergo this. They can readjust themselves. My nose is itchy today. They can actually decay all of a sudden. One of the composite particles, if they're not, let's say, a hadron, which must be kept in a triplet at all times, for example, it can't do this. But if you had a particle that had the ability to lose one of its constituents and still remain in a successful quantum state, then that could happen as well. So, while technically what I said does exist and does happen, I was effectively incorrect, because it isn't by no means the normal way that this happens. It usually occurs the other way. So I totally admit I'm wrong about that. And I issued like a little retractive thing in the comments. I was like, I'm wrong. Here's why. Science fail. Oh, and recently I had math fail. Math. I'm doing it wrong. When I was pointing out the readings I got on an airplane, first off, I would like to point out that I messed up. Remember how I said never use sieverts and millirems and all this other stuff when you don't know the energies? I've been pointing this out to people, right? But then I also pointed out that occasionally I mess up and do it. Because it's so easy when the Geiger counter's like, oh, millirems, and you just read it right off the Geiger counter. You're like, eh. And sure enough, I did it. I looked back at my document I wrote about the airplane. I must have been tired, just got back from the airport. These are just excuses, of course, because I failed. But I used millirems and sieverts and even grays, when I should have been using counts per minute, because I have no idea what the energies are coming off. I mean, I can guess at some of the energies, but these are relativistic electrons. They're moving sort of fast. Anyway, additionally, I also did my math totally wrong on the site. I'm not sure what I did wrong with it. I must have just been out of my freaking mind. And somebody whose name escapes me sent me an email about this. I posted a comment actually on my site explaining why I was wrong. So if you go to anti-proton.com and you look up the article, it's the main one up right this moment, you will literally see where I went wrong. And you'll see that person's comment, and then afterwards I'm like, oh, math fail. So I mess up quite often, so I just wanted to point that out. I would like to say most people have been very nice about coming up with this stuff and pointing it out and saying things, and I've learned a lot from a lot of people too. I'm not particularly happy about those people that accuse me of God only knows what, the conspiracy people that seem to accuse me of just every conceivable thing on the earth. Apparently I'm getting paid by all these people to do all these things, I guess. I don't know. If I am, I'd like to see the money from it. If I'm going to be bad, evil, and horrible and get paid to be bad, evil, and horrible, which is apparently what I'm supposedly doing, where's the money? I want it. Then I can buy more Geiger counters. But anyway, of course, the reality is that's not true. But, you know, whatever. By the way, ooh, look. What is it? Is it showing up there? 62? Okay. That's interesting. My hair got closer to it and it went up. I guess my hair's radioactive, right? 62 counts per minute off of one tiny bag of light salt. Well, that granite down there is, I'm sure, not completely innocent on it either. It doesn't matter. I'm just doing it for the hell of it. So anyway, there you go. Continue telling me anything I do wrong. Let me know. If you find anything neat, let me know. I enjoy learning, and I like to hear all these things. And I'd like to thank everybody for clicking the like button and all that other stuff and favorites and blah, blah, blah. Sorry if I haven't had a chance to get back to you. A lot of people have emailed me. I get like billions of them. It's hard to read them all. It's hard to get back to them all. I try. But regardless, thank you for making it fun and interesting, because I just do it for hobby. There's no other reason that I have other than the fun and the interest. So this is Tom from anti-proton.com, and bye-bye.